You know what I mean? Make those adjustments.
And the ability to land hard shots in so tight.
In tight.
Crazy.
Yes, really tight positions.
And so accurate. Just inches away from him when he's landing these right hooks.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. What a performance.
Yeah.
Bud Crawford, just won his debut at 154. Said if the money's right, we'll fight. Everybody wants that fight. What do you feel about that matchup? People saying the weight, all this stuff. How do you feel about that?
You know, everybody wants to fight. Everybody calling me out and everything. And, you know, like I say, I have nothing to win with Crawford.
Joe Rogan recently shared his thoughts on a potential showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, a fight that has boxing fans buzzing. Imagine two of the world's best fighters with completely different styles going toe-to-toe. This is the stuff of dreams for fight enthusiasts. And who better than Joe Rogan, a passionate UFC commentator and combat sports expert, to break it all down? Rogan, known for diving deep into fights, started by praising Canelo Alvarez. He called him a serious fighter and highlighted what makes him so special: insane head movement, devastating body shots, and power that can make opponents question their careers. According to Rogan, Canelo's style is all about control. He doesn't rush in. Instead, he systematically breaks down his opponents, especially with body shots that can be career-ending. Rogan warned that if Crawford gets stuck fighting up close, Canelo will make him pay. However, he also admitted that Canelo has weaknesses, particularly against slick boxers who can stay out of range. When Rogan discussed Crawford, his admiration was obvious. He described Crawford as a brilliant fighter who can do it all, switching between southpaw and orthodox stances and adapting mid-fight like a chess master. Rogan emphasized Crawford's speed, precision, and footwork, calling it some of the best in the game. Crawford doesn't just land punches, he places them exactly where he wants. The big question, Rogan pointed out, is whether Crawford can handle Canelo's size and power. Moving up in weight is one thing, but Canelo's pressure and physicality are on a whole different level.
I keep bringing up Canelo. I think that's weird, you know, because you'd have to gain 20 pounds. Yeah. But they say that's the money fight. That's the mega fight. That's the money fight. That's the only thing that makes sense for Terence Crawford.
Well, you know what I mean? Catch weight. We can do something at a catch weight.
What weight you think?
Probably 160 or something.
You said 154 is the highest you want to go.
Yeah, 158.
When asked to pick a winner, Joe Rogan didn't take sides. He acknowledged that the outcome could go either way. He suggested that if the fight happens at a catch weight, Crawford might have an edge since he wouldn't need to bulk up too much. But at super middleweight, the advantage would lean toward Canelo, as that's his natural weight class. Rogan stressed that regardless of the outcome, this fight is more about the thrill of watching two masters face off. In 2023, Canelo Alvarez inked a massive $100 million deal with PBC for 3 marquee fights. The agreement, ending with a September 2024 bout against Edgar Berlanga, aimed to boost PBC's global reputation. However, despite Canelo's dominance in all 3 fights, the financial results didn't meet expectations. Opponents like Jermell, Charlo, Jaime Munguia, and Berlanga failed to draw big pay-per-view numbers, leaving PBC in a tough spot, reportedly facing a $900 million debt. Boxing matchmaker Rick Glazer criticized PBC's financial decisions, especially a rumored matchup between Canelo and IBF super middleweight champion William Skull. Glazer argued that Skull's lack of recognition in the US, combined with Canelo's high purse demands, would make the fight a financial flop. Glazer believes only fights with Terence Crawford or David Benavidez could generate the excitement and revenue PBC desperately needs. While Crawford seems like the ideal opponent, Glazer noted that Canelo hasn't shown much interest in fighting Benavidez. Hall of Famer and ESPN analyst Timothy Bradley Jr. predicted Crawford would beat Canelo. On his YouTube channel, Bradley highlighted Crawford's reach, defense, and counterpunching as key advantages. He dismissed the idea of Canelo knocking Crawford out, pointing to Canelo's recent struggles to secure stoppages against top-tier fighters. Bradley admitted that moving up in weight would be tough for Crawford, but argued that his technical brilliance and intelligence could help him outpoint Canelo by exploiting his reach and limiting his offense. David Benavidez also chimed in, praising Crawford's skills but questioning whether his power would carry over to higher weight classes. He stressed the importance of respecting weight divisions, noting that moving up to super middleweight is no small feat. While fans dream of a Crawford-Canelo fight, the size difference and PBC's financial troubles make it uncertain. Meanwhile, Canelo's reluctance to face Benavidez keeps fans speculating about his next opponent. As both fighters continue building their legacies, fans eagerly wait to see if this blockbuster matchup will ever happen. Canelo Alvarez has been hesitant about the possibility of facing Terence Crawford, but with each new question, he seems more open to the idea. Still, many in the boxing world believe the weight difference might be too much for even someone as skilled as Crawford to handle. Does Roy Jones Jr. agree? He leans toward Canelo. Speaking to Mill City Boxing, Jones said he'd pick Canelo initially, but argued that Crawford could win under the right circumstances. I like Terence, but I'm going to lean toward Canelo because of his size early on, Jones explained. But if he lets Terence settle into the fight, Terence will be a problem, and if Terence can handle the size difference, he'll beat him. When asked how Crawford might deal with Canelo's power, the former four-division world champion from Florida called it the million-dollar question. He added, "That's what I'm saying. We don't know until we see Terence take a hit from that kind of power. That's the deciding factor. If you can hurt Bud and change his fight plan, you've got a chance to beat him. But if you can't hurt him, you won't change his plan, and then you're in trouble." Canelo is currently weighing his options for a potential return to the ring in May. Reports suggest IBF super middleweight champion William Skull is a leading contender. However, Matchroom promoter Eddie Hearn insists the biggest fight in boxing would be a clash between heavyweight icons Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. Opinions are divided in both the US and the UK about this matchup. Many believe the hype around Fury versus Joshua has faded, especially since both fighters have struggled in recent bouts and haven't secured wins against major opponents. Even during their prime, American audiences didn't seem overly interested in this showdown. Now, even at a bargain pay-per-view price, it's doubtful US fans would tune in. For most fans, the real fight to see is between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, a clash that continues to generate excitement as the most anticipated matchup in boxing. The chances of this fight happening remain unclear, as Canelo Alvarez has shown little interest in pursuing it. The Mexican superstar would only consider the fight if the payday were astronomical, so high that even Turki Alsek might think twice. Canelo's wealth is immense, and it would take an extraordinarily large sum to lure him back into the ring. "There's no bigger fight in boxing commercially than AJ versus Fury," said Eddie Hearn to Boxing Scene. While Crawford may not be a massive pay-per-view draw, his dominance in the ring over 17 years has earned him a loyal fan base. With 4 world titles across different divisions and an undefeated record, Crawford has cemented his spot at the top of boxing. American fans are eager for a clash between Crawford and Canelo, a matchup that would captivate audiences and create much more excitement than the predictable Fury-Joshua fight. Crawford's star power could have grown even more if he had been proactive about moving up to middleweight during Gennady Golovkin's prime. Had he done so, a Crawford-Golovkin fight might have materialized, adding another chapter to his storied career. It's easy to see why Eddie Hearn is pushing a potential showdown between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. As Joshua's promoter, Hearn knows this fight would be a massive event for Matchroom Boxing. Both fighters gained fame after beating an aging Vladimir Klitschko near the end of his career, and their later opponents haven't been particularly challenging. Meanwhile, Demetrius Andrade has joined those calling for a Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford fight. However, Andrade believes Crawford would face a steep uphill battle at 168 pounds. In an interview with Fight Hub TV, Andrade said, "Stepping up 2 weight classes to fight someone with Canelo's experience and skill would be overly ambitious." "I love Crawford. He's a good friend," Andrade shared. "We've traveled the world together through the amateur program. He saw me beating people up, and I saw him doing the same. The stories are endless, but when it comes to weight and power, that's real." He added, "Canelo is the big bad wolf, and he can run the whole night." Andrade believes Crawford has the skills, but when it comes to trading shots and blocking, power punches, Canelo's experience shines. "Canelo knows how to move. He's not robotic. He's got agility," Andrade said. It's going to be tough. I don't think Crawford can beat Canelo, but he'll definitely give him a good fight, and I'll be sitting there cheering for Canelo all day. Despite his opinion on the result, Andrade characterized a potential Alvarez-Crawford fight as one of the biggest events boxing could offer right now. That's a huge fight. Fans want to see it. A lot of trainers I've talked to think Terence can bridge the weight gap because his IQ is just that good, he added. Terence Crawford has long been admired by Andrade and Ward, who supports the Nebraskan to defeat Canelo Alvarez. Though Crawford is surrounded by tough opponents like Jaron Ennis and Virgil Ortiz, he seems solely focused on Canelo. With plans for decisive wins over Edgar Berlanga and Jaime Munguia, Crawford aims to secure the mega fight. Canelo has had a smooth 2024 so far, with even bigger matchups on the horizon. Jake Paul, David Benavidez, and several light heavyweights are all eager to challenge the Mexican superstar. Amid this competitive mix, Crawford is pushing to stand out. Andrade and Ward, a former two-division world champion, was often linked to a potential clash with Canelo, but believes Crawford would outperform him. "I'm going with Terence Crawford," Ward said in an interview with Boxing News. "It's a big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but someone's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will. I haven't seen anyone do it yet." Ward continued, "No disrespect to Canelo, but I've said it before, I'm not betting against Terence Crawford right now. Someone has to show me they can beat him." Edgar Berlanga, the last fighter to face Canelo, knows the challenge Crawford might face. Berlanga fought Alvarez for the WBC, WBA, and WBO super middleweight titles in Las Vegas in September. Canelo delivered a dominant performance, knocking Berlanga down on the way to a decisive, unanimous decision victory, handing the Puerto Rican his first career loss. Crawford, currently 2 weight classes below Canelo, has openly expressed his readiness to move up to 168 pounds for the fight. Berlanga shared his thoughts on the potential matchup during an interview with Sway, offering a blunt 3-word reaction to Crawford's chances. "Anything can happen." He then elaborated, saying, "Terence Crawford is great. He's a great fighter. The only advantage I see for Canelo is his weight and size. He's the bigger guy, that's it. When it comes to skill set and IQ, I feel like Crawford can go toe-to-toe with anyone and probably even outdo them. Crawford is a legend, and like I said, you can't count him out." On the other hand, Ryan Garcia has made his stance on the potential Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford fight crystal clear. In a recent interview, Garcia, known for his bold remarks, labeled Crawford an overrated fighter and confidently predicted that Alvarez would win if they ever met in the ring. Speaking to SE Cheese TV, Garcia didn't hold back, calling Crawford a dull fighter who doesn't deserve his fame and accusing him of simply cashing in on the sport. Currently serving a doping ban, Garcia even challenged Crawford directly, saying, "Come see me in the ring if you think I'm talking." His words carried extra weight given the backlash surrounding his failed test. The buzz around a potential Alvarez-Crawford showdown began when Crawford secured his 4th world title by defeating Israel Madrimov to claim the WBA super welterweight belt. Turki Alsek expressed interest in making the fight happen, reportedly presenting an offer to Alvarez. However, Alvarez declined, which led Alsek to lose enthusiasm. He then shifted focus, teasing a potential fight between Crawford and undefeated American Virgil Ortiz Jr. Despite this shift, the excitement over a possible Canelo-Crawford super fight hasn't died down. Garcia's comments have fueled debates about whether the fight would live up to the hype. He dismissed Crawford's skills, claiming that despite his achievements, Crawford falls short of Alvarez's level. "He gets hit a lot. He's not untouchable," Garcia said, even suggesting he could find a way to beat Crawford himself. For now, both fighters are focusing on their own careers. Crawford's next move remains uncertain, while Alvarez is preparing for a title defense this September. While the likelihood of an Alvarez-Crawford clash is still up in the air, Garcia's outspoken remarks have certainly sparked excitement and speculation within the boxing community. Oscar De La Hoya, known for his close ties with Canelo Alvarez, also weighed in on the prospect of a fight between the Mexican icon and Terence Crawford. De La Hoya insisted his perspective was impartial, but he emphasized the significance of such a fight in the world of boxing. Both champions have shown interest in making the fight happen, seeing it as a career-defining moment. Crawford, in particular, has been vocal about stepping up in weight to face Canelo. Although Canelo previously dismissed the idea, saying he wouldn't gain much recognition for the win, he has recently seemed more open to serious offers. With both fighters seeking marquee opponents and no major fights currently scheduled, the chances of this super fight happening in 2025 have increased. De La Hoya shared his thoughts on how the fight would unfold, pointing to Canelo's superior size and punching power as key advantages. Speaking to Fight Hub TV, he said, "At 154, Crawford didn't look too dangerous, so imagine Canelo, bigger, stronger, a beast. It's almost a no contest. Come on, when has a smaller good fighter ever beaten a good bigger fighter? It's rare." Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.